Welcome back to the Thrive 45 Method podcast with me, your host, nutritionist Stacey Nicole Smith. And this is the space where we talk all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. Now, let's get started with today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so today you guys wanted to hear sleep your way to fat loss in perimenopause and menopause. Oh my goodness. So if you are here and you're experiencing any of the hormonal changes of perimenopause, you may have already noticed you might be experiencing already some disrupted sleep. Like maybe you have a hard time falling asleep, or maybe you can fall asleep, no problem, but you have a hard time staying asleep. You're waking up in the middle of the night. So we're going to go through today and also how sleep can impact fat loss in a really big way. It might surprise you. But first, I also have a free guide for you guys, Fat Loss Over 45. If you want the guide, comment below guide or send me a private DM with the word guide, and I'll be happy to send it to you. So sleep your way to fat loss. Here's the thing I always say with sleep. When we're experiencing these hormonal changes of perimenopause and menopause, the estrogen and progesterone declining and cortisol is going up, it's also impacting our blood sugar. And this is a really important one. Now, when we have disrupted blood sugar, that can disrupt our sleep. When we have disrupted sleep, the next day, that can disrupt our blood sugar. So it's kind of like the chicken and the egg, right? Like which came first? Because it impacts it both ways. So if you are not having balanced blood sugar in the daytime, it's going to impact your sleep in a negative way. If you don't have a good sleep the next day, you may have noticed if you don't have a good night's sleep, I'm pretty sure everyone on the planet has experienced this at some point. The next day, not only is your energy off, but so are your hunger hormones and cravings. So you may be having excess hunger that you never used to have. Or maybe you eat a normal sized meal that you would normally eat, but you're still hungry. And logically, you're like, this doesn't make any sense. I normally eat this and I'm nice and satiated after my meal, but now I'm hungry after it. What's going on? Or maybe you're having food cravings, like you're looking for something at 3 p.m. to bring you right back up, right? And so these are all blood sugar dysregulation and hunger hormone dysregulation, and that can happen from lack of sleep. Now, if you're having dysregulated blood sugar during the day, that's going to impact your sleep at night. So it's a whole thing. So how do we deal with it, right? And I think the answer might surprise you because you probably think I'm going to tell you sleep in a cold, dark room, no electronics before bed. These are all true. But when we're talking nutrition and lifestyle, believe it or not, your good sleep starts with what you have for breakfast and when you have it. So as we're going through these hormonal changes, like I said, everything's disrupted a little bit, right? And so it doesn't mean that nothing's going to work. It just means we have to learn how to work with it. So when we're having the decrease in estrogen and progesterone, increase in cortisol, the stress hormone, the one famous for putting fat on that belly, the menopause belly, has a name for a reason because it's quite common. That cortisol belly, menopause belly, is closely tied to our blood sugar. And because we're experiencing some blood sugar dysregulation, we want to balance it out as best we can. And it starts with breakfast. So the best way to do that, and that's going to impact your sleep at night, believe it or not. If you don't believe me, give it a try. So what we want to do is we want to cut through that cortisol first thing in the morning by balancing our blood sugar. And the easiest way to do that is have 30 grams of protein within an hour of waking. Like, can you believe that doing that in the morning is going to impact your sleep at night? Now, you can't just say, well, I have my 30 grams of protein for breakfast. I'm good to go. I'm going to have a great sleep. I'm going to be great for the rest of the day. And I'm going to lose all this excess body fat and like Bob's your uncle, like whatever. But it does start that way. So we want to start with breakfast. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is one of the other often overlooked things that we do, because we always hear about protein, right? I'm sure you heard, have more protein, have this much a day, but nobody's talking about fiber, because us as peri and menopausal women need adequate fiber in our diets, and most women are not getting it. That too is going to help you balance out your blood sugar. So it's going to help with that sleep at night, right? And it's also going to help to feed that healthy gut bacteria, which helps with our hormonal balance, and it helps with sleep. Like, it's really crazy when you realize what the right foods at the right times of day, the kind of impact they can have. They can have a really bad impact, or when done properly, they can have such an amazing positive impact. It's crazy. And it's honestly hard to believe until you've experienced it. You're like, I had no idea it was going to do this. So we want to start with breakfast. Now, the other thing, and then you want to do a good lunch, but dinner's important too for good sleep. So, and here's why. A lot of women, and let me know if you see yourself in this, a lot of women, because we've been stuck in this diet mentality for years, right? Oh, it's a calorie deficit. Oh, exercise more, burn off more than you take in, and that's going to work. Listen, in a perimenopausal body, that can burn you out and backfire tremendously. And so many women are out here suffering needlessly. And that's why you're thinking nothing's working, because the old tricks that used to work are no longer working for you. It's just because it's working against your changing hormones at this time. We just need to work with them. So we got our breakfast in line, but here's what most women do. And I know because I talked to so many of you and you're doing this, and I used to do the same thing, so I get it, is we've got it in our minds, this diet mentality. So we're eating less than we need to because we're afraid to overeat. We're afraid to have carbs. We're afraid to do all these things because we think we're going to gain weight, especially at this age when we're already struggling, right? A lot of women. So a lot of women will undereat all day. You get to dinner, you're ravenous and you've run out of willpower, and then you eat a bit too much in the evening. Guess what's happening? That is messing up your sleep. So literally what we're doing through the day is impacting what's happening at night when we're sleeping. So that's why it's important to balance out the blood sugar first thing, do the same thing at lunch, and then you're not ravenous for dinner and you're having a healthy, balanced dinner with the right amounts of protein, around 30 grams, fiber, 8 to 10 grams, and healthy fats. And that's in the form of like avocados, olive oil, that sort of stuff. And the reason the healthy fats are there, they're important for hormonal balance, but they're also important to keep us nice and satiated and full, because to have the best, most restful sleep, you really want to have a window of not eating for about 3 hours before sleep. A reason for this is sleep is very restorative. We want to have a deep sleep, but if we're eating too much of the wrong foods or too much of any foods too close to when we're going to sleep, now our body is busy digesting, right? And so when it's busy digesting, it can't get that restoration that it really needs and that deep sleep. When we don't get that, then the next day our hunger hormones are out of whack. And if they're sending us the wrong signals, we're having cravings that are unnecessary, that we don't need to have. And that's why a lot of women are reaching for too much coffee. You're having cravings for sugar. You got to feel like you got to bring it back up. So let me know if you are experiencing any things with the sleep, if any of that makes sense to you. And I think it's important to note, because we often think of food as just in the sense of calories, but food has reactions within our body. That's really important, especially when we're experiencing these hormonal fluctuations. Food can have a bad reaction within your body, or it can set off a good reaction. So obviously we're aiming for the good reaction, but a lot of women unknowingly are setting off a bad reaction. You're not meaning to do. Nobody would do that on purpose, but without understanding how to work with your hormones, it's sending it in the wrong direction. It's like a cascade. Like I said, the chicken or the egg. Like, is it the bad blood sugar that disrupted the sleep, or is it the bad sleep that disrupted the blood sugar the next day? You know what I mean? So I hope that helps you guys. Little by little, these little things do matter. And the best way to get a handle on it is, obviously there's the things like sleep in a dark room. That's true. Cool dark room, no electronics or screens for an hour before bed. That's also true. And these are the types of things people think about, but often people aren't correlating it to something like blood sugar. But it's really, really important, and it could be like a game changer for a lot of women. So it starts with breakfast, good sleep, believe it or not. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys. Again, if you want the free guide, Fat Loss Over 45, again, this is the stuff that works for women in our age group with these changing hormones. And it's nothing to do with the calorie deficit model, cutting carbs, or intermittent fasting. That's not, or over exercising. It's not that. It's about working with our hormones properly to give them the right signals so they can use our food, our body can use our food efficiently, and release stored fat instead of sending signals to our body to store it, which is what a lot of women are unknowingly doing. We want to send it the signals to release that fat. And the good news is it requires proper nourishment. This is great news, not restriction. Restriction can backfire. So anyway, hope that helps you guys. Comment guide if you want the guide. Comment any questions below, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this episode helpful. If so, please be sure to like and subscribe to be notified when new episodes are released. Episodes like this are released weekly for all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. And for other ways I can help you, please be sure to visit the show notes or visit my bio. Thanks for listening. Bye.